Hello, welcome to the Yarn and Yarns YouTube channel. My name is Angela and all of the places you can find me should be linked in the description box below this video. Welcome to a Yarn and Yarns Extra today. I'm hoping to do a little bit of spinning on my Ashford traditional wheel. And this is quite exciting for me if it works out okay. I'm keeping everything crossed because if you've been a long time follower of the channel, you'll know that most often I spin on my Haldane wheel, which you can see behind me. I've had that wheel for maybe a year or 18 months, perhaps a bit longer. I owned it longer, but I think I've been working on it for just over a year. And I purchased that second hand from a local lady and I love that wheel. I've got to know her quirks, but I was really excited when not long after I purchased this, another lady came into the shop. I own a bricks and mortar yarn shop, and asked if I knew anyone who was interested in spinning because she had a wheel that she wanted to just give away. She said that she used to spin quite a while ago, but she'd given up the hobby and didn't know anyone who was interested, and she wasn't interested in selling the wheel, she just wanted it out of her house to make space. So I said, yes please, I've just started spinning, I'd love to have the wheel, and I figured even if it wasn't really in spinning condition, it could perhaps be a prop in the window for my shop. When she turned up with the wheel, I saw that it was an Ashford traditional, which is a really beautiful wheel, and it's one that's really easy to get bits and pieces for here in the UK. So as you can imagine, I was completely delighted. I tried to figure her out, and then the con rod joint broke and she kind of sat languishing for quite some time until earlier on this year my friend Tracy came to visit and she helped me get her going again. I managed to do one beautiful spin of some merino fibre back earlier on in the year, and then she gave up on me again. I just could not for the life of me get her to spin. The plan was to alternate between wheels, so to switch between working on the Haldane and working on the Ashford. Spun on my Haldane, intended to come back to the Ashford, and when I tried to come back to the Ashford she just would not spin, and I have not been able to figure it out. But back when I did that initial spin, I bemoaned the fact that I didn't have very many bobbins for the Ashford. My lovely friend Jeanette surprised me with a couple of bobbins in the post, and my other friend Caroline, her husband had just got a 3D printer and had printed her some bobbins for her spinning wheels and said, would I be interested in him having a go at making a bobbin for my wheel? So yes, of course. This was before I knew Jeanette had surprised me with those bobbins. So I've got bobbins aplenty for my Ashford now. Fast forward a few weeks and a little bit of delay in the post, and the 3D printed bobbin arrived today. So I said to her, I'll put it on my flyer, set up my wheel, but I had no hopes of it spinning. So I set it up and lo and behold, it's spinning beautifully. So I'm not sure if the fact that the 3D printed bobbin is a bit lighter is helping to offset whatever trouble I'm having with the wheel, but I do have a few new bits and pieces, a few new parts on the way for the Ashford, so hopefully one way or another I can figure it out. But I figured I'd try and seize the moment and do a bit of spinning on the Ashford today. So let me show you the bobbin and then let me show you what I'm going to spin. Here is the bobbin all set up on the wheel. I literally have not touched it since I did this little practice bit of spinning this morning. The wheel's still in the same place, my chair's in the same place. I haven't dared touch it in case I jinx anything. But it's this beautiful bobbin. Let me come this side and then you'll be able to see some of the gorgeous design that Robert's put into the end of these bobbins. And as you can see, I'm all set up. I found out from Caroline after I set up and started to spin that this hole here is actually for helping to set your leader thread, and apparently it's something that's quite common to a Louette wheel, but I've never come across a Louette wheel. So apparently you just knot your leader thread, pop it in and then slide it down in through one of the slots there, but I didn't know that, so I tied my leader on in the traditional way, and then I borrowed some fibre from my drop spindle project because that's what was handy, and quickly spun that up. Some lovely BFL naturally dyed, plant dyed yarn from Nellie and Eve. So yes, I am striking while the iron is hot. I'm going to ignore that bit. I'm not going to unwind it. I'm not going to reset up my leader. I'm just going to leave things as they are and see if I can do a little bit of spinning this afternoon. So I have this mini art batt. I've just weighed it. It's 44 grams worth of fibre, and it was a gift from my lovely friend Jeanette, who I've already mentioned in this video. Now I know Jeanette made me some Rolags before. I'm not sure if she made this art batt or if she purchased this art batt. I don't think she specified when she sent it to me, but I thought this might be the perfect workout for my Ashford this afternoon, so we'll see. So let's just unwrap this art batt and see what we've got. Oh, look at all those pretty colours, isn't that gorgeous? So I'm just going to open out the batt. As I say, it's quite a small one, which is why I thought it would be quite a nice project to try and get me back into using the Ashford. If indeed it's going to play ball, I could be building all this up and then she won't spin. Perhaps I've looked at her funny or something. I love these older wheels and giving them new life, new love, new homes, but they can be a little bit temperamental. I've worked out over time, Edith is what I call my Haldane wheel. I've worked out her sort of idiosyncrasies, but yeah, yet to do that with the Ashford because she just hasn't wanted to play with me. So this is going to be super fun, isn't it? Look at all those beautiful colours. There's some nice textures. I can see some crazy locks in here. I'm looking forward to spinning this up. There's a bit of sparkle, a bit of Angelina or Stellina in there. This just reminds me of fireworks in the night sky. It's fabulous. So I'm just going to tear off strips of this, I think, and get started and see what we've got. I've not got no particular plan for this yarn, what I might use it with. It's just hopefully going to be a fun spin to get me back into working on my Ashford. So here goes nothing. Ooh, wish me luck. Not going to do too much pre-drafting with this because it's going to be a textured yarn, but just to hopefully get us started and hopefully get it on the wheel, I'm just going to spread some of these fibres out a little bit. So I've got my little bit of BFL that I've spun earlier. As I say, I'm not going to wind that off the bobbin. I'm just going to join this batt straight on, hopefully, and we'll go from there. So let's give her a spin. Yay, she seems to be working. I was going quite fine with the BFL earlier. I think I'm going to leave this a little bit thicker. I might leave the yarn intentionally as a singles rather than try and apply it. There's going to be quite a lot of sort of texture and mixing of colours in the singles in this batt anyway. So I'm thinking just to leave it as a nice fun sort of singles art yarn. Don't mind, I'm leaving some thick bits in there. Just going to let the yarn be whatever it wants to be. So yeah, she's spinning really nicely, and as you can see there's lots of fun colour and fun texture starting to emerge on that bobbin. I love the purple bobbin too, it's such a gorgeous colour. Yesterday evening I finished spinning up that art batt, and I've just shown a shot of the completed bobbin. It was so much fun to spin, and the Ashford, who I've decided to name Eliza, I think I chatted about this before, but I was on the fence about what to call her, but she's definitely Eliza, has been playing really nicely with that new 3D printed bobbin. Wind off my yarn onto my niddy noddy, I'll give it a soak, and it's another glorious day here today, so I think my yarn should dry pretty quickly if I get it outside soon. It's been a couple of days since the footage that you've just seen, and my yarn has been soaked and it's dried, and I thought I had to pop in and show you the finished yarn before I signed off from this video. So here it is. Ignore all the bits of white cotton coming off of there. That's just what I use to tie up my skeins. I haven't yet measured how many meters I got from this yarn. I ended up with 2 smaller skeins. There was some rayon type fibres, maybe bamboo or something like that, in this skein, and I'm not used to spinning with that fibre, and as I wound the yarn off onto my niddy noddy, I hadn't put enough twist in that fibre, or at least in one part of that fibre, and the yarn broke, so I ended up with 2 little skeins, but that's absolutely fine. I'm really pleased with how this has turned out. It was a really fun spin, and I'm contemplating, I've got another art batt in my stash, I'm contemplating spinning that one up and using them both together to perhaps make a really fun and funky cowl for the winter time. I'd like to make, if I can get enough yardage, like a nice big double loop cowl, but we'll see. Look at all those really fun colours. Yeah, such a fun spin, and I really enjoyed working with that 3D bobbin, and this art batt was just, yeah, really fun to have a kind of mindless spin where I'm not worrying about what's happened or worrying about consistency. I'm just putting the fibre through the wheel and getting a really fun yarn at the end of it. I hope you enjoyed watching this process. Until we get to spend time together again, I hope you get to do some of the things that you enjoy. Great big woolly hugs to you all. Bye for now.